Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Walker. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below. Get to as soon as I can. And Walker wanted me to react to his list of his favorite, or his list of Sam Mendes films, his ranking of Sam Mendes films. And that's no problem. I'm fine doing videos like this. He sent quite a bit in the past, and it's fun each time, so thank you, Walker. And for those interested, like I said, PayPal's usually the best bet. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to it as soon as I can. So, a lot of times when he does requests, Walker wants me to read verbatim what he says. For example, he says, this is his ranking of Sam Mendes films that he directed. Haven't seen all of 1917. From what I saw, it was good, but not a movie I would probably ever watch more than once. Also never saw Jarhead. War movies are not my favorite. Please read notes in parentheses. So his list is number 4, Spectre. I love most of the Daniel Craig Bond movies. I used to really enjoy this movie, but I rewatched it for the first time in 60 years, and I thought it was very average. Not quite a bad movie, though. Number 3, American Beauty. Very interesting movie. Not the most rewatchable either, but Kevin Spacey gave a great performance. Number 2, Road to Perdition. Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks. And number 1, Skyfall, one of the better Daniel Craig movies. I love Javier Bardem and the relationship James has with M. Now, I want to make sure. Yeah, that is the film I'm thinking of. I want to look at his full filmography. Yeah, Revolutionary Road and Away We Go he also did. Empire of Light. Haven't seen those. I have seen Jarhead. I have seen 1917. I would say, with those included, my number 1 would be Skyfall. So I agree. I agree with his number 1. Skyfall was a very solid, very good James Bond movie. I would say it's my favorite Daniel Craig one. I thought it had a good amount of action, wonderful set pieces, whether it be using that like wrecking ball at one point and the bit on the train at the beginning of the film where he gets shot, face the rest of his death, to the finale where it's like middle of nowhere and there's that mansion and there's a helicopter firing at it and sets up the explosives that blows up and it hits the helicopter that crashes down, and the way it's all lit with the fiery embers, and you have James and M and Javier Bardem. The action set pieces, like the bit with the subway train or train itself where a piece blows off and you see it kind of crash and land in the level below it. I thought that, like I said, it had a good amount of action, very solid set pieces. I thought that Daniel Craig, as well as, Javier Bardem, I agree. I thought he did a great job. He's one of the better James Bond villains, but definitely one of the more interesting. And just how he has a history with M and wanted revenge on her and to thrust it upon her. I thought the way Daniel Craig worked with the M character, they had this nice bond with each other. Had a nice bit of emotional ring to it, especially in the finale of the film. Yes, Skyfall, I definitely agree. I think a lot of people would agree and say that was one of the better James Bond films. I think with Daniel Craig, some may say Casino Royale was the best. I do like it. I think it's the second of the Daniel Craig films worth a crap. The first one is definitely Skyfall. So definitely agree with your number 1. Now, I did see 1917. That would definitely be my number 2. I love the whole gimmick of trying to make it look like all in one take. How ambitious it was with having all these firefights, all this action, all this stuff going on. To have, again, try to take place in one take. Yes, sometimes you do kind of tell when they switch off. That's kind of one of the fun things, though, is kind of trying to think, okay, they probably switched off there. Yeah, that's where they switched off, so they could continue with the shot. But I thought 1917 was fairly solid. Of these, I might put Jarhead as number 3. When I first saw Jarhead, I didn't really get it. I'm like, damn, nothing happens in this movie. How come nothing happens in this film? That's the point. The point is, they go through all this and nothing happens, and they go back, and that is the point. And that there's some people that had those experiences. They're literally just waiting for something to happen, and nothing happened, and so what happens in between? And so now if I watch it, I'm like, okay, this is actually a different way of detailing conflict and war. And I thought Jay Gyllenhaal and Jamie Foxx did a pretty good job. And like I said, when I first saw Jarhead, I didn't get it. I'm like, is anything going to happen? But yeah, now that I get it, I'm like, oh, okay. So I see it in different viewpoint, different eyes now. That's just me, though. So I would put that for me number 3. So Skyfall, I agree with you, number 1. 2, 1922. 3, Jarhead. And then other ones, yeah. American Beauty, Road to Perdition, American Beauty, Spectre. Spectre, I would definitely say, is last on the list. So I agree with you again, Walker. Yeah, Spectre, I'm not a fan of. I don't think it's the worst movie ever. I think when I first reviewed it, I was like, the stuff I don't like, the stuff I do like. Some of the stuff was fun to watch, but then some of it just felt really slow and tired and a slog to sit through. I wasn't as much in love with the plot as I was for Skyfall. I would say it's better than No Time to Die. But yeah, Spectre, I remember just being at the very least, a mixed bag. But I would probably say I disliked it more than liked it. So I agree with that being last on the list. And yeah, I probably put, like, of the 4 you mentioned, I'd probably have the same, if it was just those 4, I'd have the same ranking. Skyfall 1, Spectre last, and Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks. Yeah, I'd probably say I'd put that above American Beauty. It was intriguing to see Tom Hanks play a bit more of a darker, different type of role. The way it tried to capture the time period, having actors like Paul Newman in there was nice to see. And who else was in that film? I remember the cast being pretty decent. Paul Newman, Jude Law, Daniel Craig, Stanley Tucci, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Anthony LaPaglia. Yeah, I remember thinking, oh wow, I was surprised that Daniel Craig was in this. I do remember thinking that, oh shit, he's in this? Because this came out in 2002? So before the Daniel Craig James Bond films, because the first one was, I think, 2006 or so. So this is around the time of still Pierce Brosnan doing, Die Another Day and stuff. That era. So it's interesting, that they worked together on that, and then later on get to work together on 2 James Bond films. Yeah, because Daniel Craig played the son of Paul Newman, and Paul Newman wanted to protect his son. His son, Daniel Craig, what started all the horrible bit of business. Jude Law, I think, was a hitman. Like I said, I appreciated Tom Hanks doing that different type of role, and not doing the same thing over and over again. I remember not loving the film, but I remember not minding it. And American Beauty, not my kind of movie. Yes, it's a bit pain in the ass to try to watch Kevin Spacey. At least in films like Seven, he's a villain. In Outbreak, there's a lot of other parts to it. Yes, I do take, like Negotiator still liked, even though Kevin Spacey's one of the stars. So, I should try to separate the art from the artist. But yeah, the rest of the plot, I just remember just not being my cup of tea, just not really interested in the stories and the characters. Just remember some nice visual elements. The daytime, the fantasies Kevin Spacey and other characters would have in that film from time to time. But yeah, I just never did much for me. So yeah, this is one that I pretty much agree with your ranking. Right, I don't think American Beauty's that interesting as you make it out to be, and Sally, I don't love most of Daniel Craig Bond films. I could watch the first three. Even Quantum of Solace, despite its flaws. Spectre, not big on. No Time to Die, I hated. So, but yeah, for me, it'd be Skyfall, 1917, Jarhead, then Road to Perdition, American Beauty, and Spectre. Yeah, so there you go. So thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks for being Walter, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.